Biological engineering is a relatively new field, and it is exactly how it sounds. It's the application of biology in engineering, and it is often combined with biomedical engineering, which has more to do with equipment and developing new medical devices. But biological engineering uses molecular biology, and there's different categories underneath it, which I'll cover later. A bachelor's degree is required for all entry-level jobs as a biological engineer, but you could specialize in different areas like agricultural, which involves food and biological process, cellular or biomolecular or bioprocess or bioenergy, and you can also take the pre-med track and use your biological engineering degree as a way to get into med school. Obviously, you would major in biological engineering or biomedical engineering because sometimes there's no distinction between the two because schools combine both under biomedical engineering. You could also double major in chemical engineering, which would be very helpful, or minor in chemistry, biology, or business management. So for skills and attitudes, you need to be curious, analytical, solution-oriented, be good at problem solving, and have good communication skills because you work with a lot of different professionals and you have to work well in a team. In addition, you're going to work with engineers and biologists, and they sometimes speak in different languages, so you have to be able to communicate what you're trying to say. So your daily activities as a biological engineer is really going to depend on your specialization. You could be analyzing biological systems, be working with genetic modification, be working with food, studying the environment, or obviously working with biologists and biomedical engineers as a team. So it really depends on which branch you take. So there's a huge overlap between companies that hire biomedical engineers and biological engineers. Some examples are Roche, Abbott Laboratories, Johnson & Johnson, Genzyme, Zymogenetics, Microsoft, Brainlab, and Olympus. But really, wherever a company is asking for a biomedical engineer, a biological engineer could be hired, or vice versa. So biological engineering is mostly needed in developed countries because this is where the research takes place. It usually takes place in labs. So this would be in European countries or the US, and this map shows the most companies in the US for biological engineering. But this also depends on the specialization and what you choose to do. Biological engineering is a relatively new but definitely growing field. Genetic modification is becoming more popular. New medical devices are always developing and will always need to be developed. The increase in environmental issues cause a bigger need for biological engineers because new processes need to be made to clean air and water. Technology in general gave birth to the field of bioengineering. It wasn't really a big field before the internet, and the internet allows communication between engineers and life scientists. But bioengineering developed out of specific desires or needs. For example, the desire of surgeons to bypass the heart. So the internet definitely helps communication between the biologists and engineers. So the recession did affect the biological engineering industry a bit because people didn't want to invest in biotech companies. But as you can see, the industry still has a general upward trend because the industry is going to continue to grow during those times, just not as much. Whether or not it can be relocated offshore really depends on the specialization again. For example, if you go into the environmental direction, you could, for example, Kokani Katija study biogenetic ocean mixing or the effect of the movement of seawater on climate. So she did a lot of research on the ocean. But for the most part, no, because it's very heavily lab focused. A degree in business will really help you become an entrepreneur, but a program to help is the BMEA, or the Biomedical Engineering Entrepreneurship Academy. This is for graduate students, and it's for people who want to explore marketing opportunities for their technology. It has seminars, sessions, mentoring, and networking dinners, which could really help. Drew Endy is an example of a small business starter. He's the president of Bobrix Foundation. He was the co-founder of a high-profile synthetic biology company called Codon Devices, Inc., but this company failed in 2009 because he burned through too much of the money. However, he learned from his mistakes and started a new company called Gen9, which has been doing well. An education in business and management will help someone move from an employee to manager. You have to show initiative, work well in a team, and it helps if you have an education in other fields of sciences to understand the other areas because a lot of the areas are involved in each other. Other related careers include biological technicians who collect and prepare specimens, samples, and materials. They assist with experiments and examine results. Biochemists conduct more complex scientific research. And obviously, biomedical engineers are very similar to biological engineers, but they focus more on building machinery.